I wouldn't think you've heard of this guy, but he goes by Brad Taste in Music online, and he
Okay.
is a music reviewer, and he's a little bit soy, as you might hear people say,
Mm-hmm.
and so he went to you know who H3H3 is, right? Big
Yep.
podcast or whatever, and he got invited to an H3H3 event, and he went and he hung out with Ela and Ethan and took some pictures with them or whatever. And he originally, when he tweeted the picture, he said, "Great moves." I'm like, "Oh, I had a good time" or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then some of his fans got mad at him because Ethan Klein does not have the approved Israel-Palestine opinion, and that did not fly with uh I can't imagine it was even that many of his fans. I think he's overreacting to probably a pretty small portion. But so he gets backlash to that picture and he says, "This image made a statement that I did not intend to make, and I'd like to apologize for people who were hurt or upset by this. I also apologize for my quick response as it was dismissive towards people who care about me and others deeply. I appreciate you looking out for me." It's like
Oh,
you tweeted a
jeez.
picture with celebrities. You took pictures with celebrities and tweeted them. Like it's
Yeah,
so
that.
insane that this is the reaction. And H3, he put this, I don't know, on his story or whatever app, the equivalent of that. And he says, "This is Brad. Someone on the crew was kind enough to get him VIP tickets so he was able to come backstage and hang out with us. I had the chance to speak with him for a little bit and thought he was a nice guy. Here he is apologizing for taking a photograph with me."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous. I don't know why you would cave into a small portion of fans just because you feel like maybe. I mean, it just seems ridiculous to me. Like it's not that big of a deal. You're gonna get some backlash from anyone from any different thing. So this seems like a
right. What do you
wild.
not cave to if you cave to this? Like H3H3, I'm not super familiar with his stance on this because I just can't be bothered to listen to all the Israel Palestine nonsense. But I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure his take is more or less he has sympathy for Israel and Gaza.
Yeah, and that's a
It's
reasonable
like
take.
such
I
super
probably shouldn't
middle
even
of the
say.
road take.
Yeah, that's a very reasonable take.
Um, But then H3H3 goes on to say, or actually, this is another tweet that Brad made. "I'm aware that being around Ethan and Ela at the moment is very questionable. I wanted to meet them despite people's valid criticisms of them. I am aware this is a bad look, and posting a photo with them upset many people. Not the best decision on my part."
Oh my god.
And then H3H3, this is the second post on it. He says, "Because I'm a Zionist, what does this even mean? To those that use the word as an insult, it simply means anyone that believes Israel has the right to continue to exist. According to recent polling, this would include 90% of the world's Jewish population. That means that Brad here would need to apologize for taking a photo with 9 out of 10 Jews." Yes.
That's ridiculous. It's just like, come on, man. Like you can understand that there's issues on both sides, right? Like you don't need to take the one side or the other.
Yeah, and then here's another, and this is basically what Brad should have stuck with, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure he deleted this, but this is kind of what he said earlier on. I think this might be the reply that he called was dismissive and too quick or whatever
Mhm.
that he mentioned earlier on. But he says, "I wanted to meet them because they were famous and I had the opportunity to watch a creator who was a pivotal part of my childhood and early YouTube adventures. I had no care for the moral implications at the time. I just wanted to feel cool." So yeah, do that. Have fun. Go to the party. Take the
Yeah.
picture with celebrities. Like it's insane. I cannot believe people got in his head that he thought this was seriously an issue that he needed to be apologizing for. Um,
Pretty
but then
ridiculous.
yeah, so Turkey Tom, he is like a million sub sort of drama coverage channel, and
Mhm.
he just quoted what Brad said earlier. This is, "I'm aware being around Ethan and Ela is very questionable." And Brad was not a fan about that. He got super mad and says, "We literally laugh about you behind your back. You have no real friends." It's like, man, seems like
Jeez.
maybe you need to just take a step back from the internet. You seem a little too emotionally invested. So he did a stream where
So
he basically, I had to take some of this from Queeman's stream. He's another drama guy, but Brad is just kind of going talking about a recent trip that he had to LA, and this is kind of where people are saying, he went to LA to visit the YouTubers and they got him hooked on the approved opinions, and now this is why he's doing this sort of stuff on Twitter or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't know for sure if that's true, but it seems to make sense. And then this is
Likely
him
there's going to
kind of
be
talking
people
about
showing up to
his
start shit.
time in LA.
So, oh shit, William says he can show up around 1:30. That's sick. All right. Yeah. So I pissed off a lot of people. I didn't know how to shut up, and I just kept talking and talking and talking, and it was a bit of a Twitter
Cycle.
meltdown
And apologizing for nothing over and over again.
of sorts. So, um, yeah, I could have made a better choice.
What a Queeman's chatter says, do dysgenic freaks smoke weed or does weed cause dysgenic freaks? Like a lot of people are just not a fan of Brad at all. Like, they really, really hate him for, having such a terrible approach to taking any level of criticism.
That I was unable to just be normal for just 48 hours. Just had to be normal for 48 hours. And because I couldn't do that, it's going to be a little rough with the chat for a bit. It was the Turkey Tom tweet. No, listen, all right, I was in the kitchen, but I was trespassing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't own the kitchen, and I just showed up and started cooking there. Okay, it was not my place
You
to do
weren't
so.
cooking
Hey,
at
right
all.
here, the truth.
No, you weren't even
But
remotely cooking.
yeah, the problem with me is if I get into something, I'll manage to turn it into my whole personality, and then just sort of like disappear into drama. But
So he's that's kind of what I was talking about, where it seems like he went to LA and they told him about the lefty stuff and he got way too into it. It seems like that's kind of what he's saying here.
Mhm.
I do want to say that this whole Twitter shit has, I don't want to let it undermine the fact that I just had like the best vacation of my life. I went to LA and it was actually such a healing trip for me. Socially, I feel like I repaired something in myself. I don't know how to explain it, but like I've just been very anxious socially for like years. And the amount of people I met who were really good people who I had to like open myself up towards this trip was, it was immense. I met so many great people, and it was because I kind of put myself out there. I really feel like I went through some very drastic changes in a week. I will mention this now because I will have to mention this in about a month. But I did. It's embarrassing. It's sad, but it's true and important to address. I did break my 3-year sobriety. It's not about how you fall; it's about how you get back up.
He relapsed. He relapsed on weed when he went to LA.
Oh
So just
no.
yeah, and then he goes on to say it's just annoying and obnoxious, but Cali weed, brah, it's so good. It's on a whole nother level. Like, he unironically does that, and
Oh god.
it's just too annoying.
I mean, especially if
He
you haven't smoked
also
in 3 years, it's gonna get you high. Anything can get you
Well, yeah,
high.
that's
Ditch
the
weed
thing.
to
It's
get
like,
you
who
high.
cares about some guy who hasn't smoked in 3 years opinion about some weed? Like, if we're smoking crack, I want to hear what Bossman Jack thinks about the crack. I don't want to hear, what do I think about it? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an expert. But this is kind of, more cope, I would say, on Brad's parts. Um, he's out at like Denny's or something recording this video in response to some of the backlash.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Bradley here. Now, I've gotten a lot of backlash because I called out Melanie Martinez for being what she is, a terrible person.
Oh yeah, sorry. This is in relation to a different controversy that he had, or
Okay.
controversy.
A monster, even. The female version of Harvey Weinstein. Okay? But just know, if you think you're wasting my time, you 14-year-olds with your scan accounts, listen, okay? I go to the gym in 2 hours. I'm eating my breakfast while simultaneously arguing with kids over why their favorite role model is garbage. Let me tell you right.
Is that supposed to convince us? Oh, he sounds like he's good then, because he's going out to breakfast at a restaurant and he still has this on his mind and is recording videos about it. Like, just Joe, just go eat breakfast. Just have what are you
Yeah,
doing?
he's giving them more power by acknowledging it. Like, that's the thing. Like, I just don't like, why? Why would you even say anything there?
Yeah, I don't understand, but
Yo,
I kind of just want to fast forward to the good part of this. I don't know. Does it show the preview? Shoot. But so what happens here is somebody they just mention weed basically. and the vibe of the stream totally changes entirely, and he kind of just has this 1,000-yard stare, and he sits there silently, and then people in the chat are like, "Take your time, homie. Stop the stream, dog, and take a break if you need it." That's what people are saying because he's like does not seem well.
I started feeling disassociative around the exact same time I had a really bad trip as well. And I'm sorry, just the mention of it is kind of just brought it up again.
This is just because a chatter mentioned weed.
That
That's
seems like
all
a
that happened.
seems like a pretty out of pocket reaction.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I guess, which you don't need to feel sorry about, because
I don't.
it's really like you did nothing wrong. I really appreciate it, but it's just one of those things that's gonna happen. So
Jesus Christ, poor guy.
sorry, I'll explain. I used to smoke weed a lot, and just one day
Hey, how crazy. Like he looked broken there. And then after all of that, say it's about weed. That's just crazy to me. And not to say, people don't make their lives worse with weed or whatever, but this is like if you're gonna be crying on stream, it should be over a crack or heroin or something like that. Like just step
Or
away from
even
the internet.
Yeah, like, or even I don't understand because like alcohol can be pretty bad for people too, and like I don't think someone mentioning alcohol to someone would make them react this way if they were sober now. It just seems like a really weird reaction.
Yeah, right. Like, you probably wouldn't want to be around, you wouldn't go to the bar and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
you would definitely be able to handle seeing a commercial for beer or, you know, your buddies say they're gonna go grab a six pack or whatever, that you should be able to hear that sort of thing and not break down, but not for Brad. I mean, we don't need to like keep going into this because it's probably meaner than we need to be. It's just because the whole point is the dude just needs to take a step away. Just do
hmm
the music reviews. That's what he does for the most part. Just record your album reviews and upload those or whatever. And maybe later on you can go back to streaming, but yeah, he's just falling apart, and it's rough to watch. It's rough to watch. I don't know. I don't know why people are comfortable putting so much of this stuff out there of their
yeah, it
personal lives and
seems
stuff.
no, it seems pretty crazy, and yeah, like I said, it's very weird how he responds, but yeah, he's obviously going through some stuff with that for sure.